all police violence, started by our sister Tawanda Jones, because of the death of her brother Tyrone West. Mic check.
Mic check. So hi everybody, I'm just loading up my page now. So we're about to actually start. I'm trying to start it up now, so it should be getting ready to go on now. Right now. Alright. So now we're starting up. Okay. So thanks everybody for your patience and time. This is West Wednesday. We're at week 351, and today we're going to actually have two special guests, which everybody that joins us is always special. But when I say special in these terms, I mean, you know, that endure so much of pain. And my first sister, I'm going to actually bring her on as soon as I finish talking. And her name is B. And this mom, even though we always talk about police brutality and things of that nature, but she totally lost her three sons, not just one. But could you imagine losing three of your children, three sons, like within months apart? I'll let her explain her story. Even though it wasn't police violence, it still was community violence. And to me, like I always tell y'all, everything is connected together, and it's just really sad. But just wanted to give everybody a shout out that's been hanging here. You know, I know we've been doing West Wednesday differently. We've been staying inside where it's safe and whatnot. And I just want to give y'all a shout out for staying safe, staying visual, because right now we see that the economy really doesn't care anything about us. It's more so worried about the dollars, even though you know, everybody, like, the fatalities are rising up, people are still getting infected, but they're planning on opening up states, and some states, as we're speaking, are now open. And it's just really sad. And it's not about the income, it's about the outcome. But I know at the end of the day, we are working people, but it's still, you can't get a paycheck if you're not alive to receive it. You know, and if you're spreading diseases and germs around, that's just my opinion and on it. You know, I just want to curb this. If there's any way we can curb this coronavirus, we need to curb it that way. You know, because I heard new reports coming in saying that by the time the fall hits and it starts getting cold again, that when we get the second round, it's going to be worse than this first round. And we know that this first round is horrible. I don't ever want to, deal with this situation again. But anyway, no further ado. Again, I'm going to start West Wednesday up, and I'm going to bring my sister B on real fast, just to tell you about what happened to her three children, not one but three sons. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
You're still muted, sister.
Hey, on Tawanda's Facebook Live, it wasn't showing Tawanda talking. It was showing a video from Ben. Wanted to just let you guys know.
Okay, well, I'm glad you told me. Let me go back, because I must have got something wrong. Thank you for sharing that.
You shared the wrong video. I was live earlier today.
Oh, okay. Well, let me come off of that. Hold up. Thank you for that, because I'm like, okay, let me go back. Y'all give me a few minutes.
You're still muted, by the
Sorry,
way.
guys, a little bit of technical difficulties. Give me a few minutes.
You're
I'm trying to, and don't tell me for that great report, because I shared the wrong thing. Let me go back and start this thing all over again.
You're still muted again.
Hello, people watching. The technical moment, and anyone that tried to share the live feed from Ben's site may have gotten an earlier live thing that he did. So if you go back to his site and look for the West Wednesday, you can start that. The accidental one that you may have.
Bill, it wasn't
All
for
right,
Ben's
please
site.
bear with us, everyone.
It wasn't from
Oh.
Ben's site. It was from Tawanda's. She shared the wrong video.
Yeah, you can go, Hillary. You can go to Ben's site if you want. You can get it from there.
I know. I'm just trying to make sure Tawanda's working.
Yeah, hold on, cause I'm not. Hold, give me 1 second, guys. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Uncle Ben, Lord Jesus. Uncle Bill, would you like to say anything else while we try to get my page up and running? You give me a few minutes, please. I apologize.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I would. We're now at the 5th anniversary of the police killing of Freddie Gray, and it's hard to imagine how things could get worse. But they're now demolishing several of the buildings in the area at the Gilmer Homes, where that neighborhood where he lived, including the one that had a memorial tribute to him painted on the outside. And it's interesting that since the time that he was killed, there was lots of talk about improving life in the neighborhood and providing programs and jobs and so on. There's a very high unemployment rate. But what they've done actually is spend $4.5 million to renovate the Weston District Police Station, which is the home of the killer cops that took Freddie Gray's life. What an outrage that they've gotten such a big chunk of money to renovate their police station, and the neighborhood still continues to suffer in many ways. It turns out that the history of the neighborhood is very interesting. The Gilmore homes were built during World War II, and they were built because housing in Baltimore was strictly segregated at that time, and there were many workers needed in the steel factory and the auto factory, and it was built for black workers and their families who came to work at those facilities. Since that time, as we know, Bethlehem Steel shut down, and the automobile factory has shut down. And why is that? Well, it's because if you were to go, for example, to Mexico, and you're a major capitalist and you own an automobile factory, instead of paying what they pay here, you down there you may pay $5 a day for an entire day of work. So they make these cars much more cheaply, and therefore they make a higher profit rate. And that pursuit of profit is what threw many, many people out of work and transformed the Gilmore Homes neighborhood from like a sterling location for people with decent jobs to what it has become, a neighborhood with very high unemployment. One of the indications is that in the whole area, let me get the numbers right, in the 74 square blocks of the Sandtown neighborhood where Gilmore Homes is, there is no supermarket, but there are 109 stores where you can buy liquor. And life has really gone backwards for people that live in that neighborhood, and it's a crime. And the police killing of Freddie Gray was one example of it. The renovation of the police station, while the neighborhood remains poor, is another example of it. And our struggle against police brutality, against racism, is a very important struggle. Of course, we have the coronavirus and have to feed people and do many other things right now. But this fight against police brutality remains a very important struggle, and we're not giving up. Mic check. Tawanda, I think you're muted. You got to unmute your mic, Tawanda.
Hello, Charlene. Charlene. I unmuted my mic.
You're good.
Okay, Charlene.
Okay, I can hear you.
Come on my page because it's not letting me do a watch party.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, you don't. I'll just do a regular share.
All right, do you see it?
Yeah, I'm still looking.
I saw the
for
last
I don't
one.
see your watch party yet.
You don't see it, share?
Nope, I'm still looking. I'm staying here. I'm waiting on your thing to wait and see. You might want to delete
Right.
the watch party. You might want to delete the one from before.
Okay, is it still going?
Delete the one from Ben before that was the wrong one, and see if it'll let you do it after you do that.
Okay. Let me see something. Let me come on up. Let me.
Ben's live stream is also on my Facebook page if you'd like to take it from there.
I'm trying to see. I gotta stop my watch party because I think that's what. Yeah, that's because he's still doing that watch party. Let me end that. That was the thing from earlier. How do I end that? Let me see something.
Up in the right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. Push on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It says delete. Delete it.
Yep, delete. Alright, now I'm deleting it. Okay. Great. Alright, now that's deleted. Now let me. Sorry, guys. This is taking so long. Did Dion join the chat? Anybody? No.
Don't see her. Got a couple blank spaces, but don't see her.
Okay, now let me. And I think I'm doing it now. Now.
Dion, are you with us?
Alright, so
I think we lost her.
now. Charlene, can you see on my page? I just found the last one.
Yeah, not yet.
I'm loading it up right now, waiting for it.
Okay.
I see Tawanda. I see.
Here we go. There we go. Here we go.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for waiting. And a shout out to Hillary for checking that. I actually shared the wrong watch party. So thanks, Hillary, for checking it. So now this is West Ramsey. We're at week 351. Tonight we're going to be joined by two special guests. One of our guests is a mother who actually lost 3 of her sons, literally in a matter of months, back to back, literally. I couldn't imagine that type of pain, just losing one child, but to lose all 3 of your sons to community violence. Even though we talk about police brutality a lot, but I always told y'all it's under one umbrella, and that's the injustice for everybody. And it seems like there is no justice. It's just us trying to hold folks accountable, and that's why we've been out here now for 351 weeks, not just for my big brother Tyrone West, who was brutally murdered and executed right here in Baltimore by, law enforcement officers, but we also, just talk about the different ills and stuff like that that's going on in our community. And tonight we're supposed to be connecting again with one of my sisters from California. She had a big long fight with her son. I don't know what happened, but she was on here earlier, and hopefully she'll be joining us back. But meanwhile, again, I'm going to bring my sister B up. She is from Baltimore, but to actually lose three of her children, like literally back to back within months, is really heartbreaking. And I think she's a strong person. This is the true reality of strength at its fullest capacity, just to be that strong to endure that type of pain, but to actually be up there and stand up and advocate, not for just one of her sons, but for all 3 of her sons. So no further ado, we're going to bring in our sister B. Mic check.
Hi. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi everyone. How are you doing? Hi, Tawana. I want to thank you so much for me being able to do West Wednesday with you. You are just the sweetest person ever, and I appreciate you. And I want to tell you, even though I'm a mom and you're a sister, you're still their auntie. You're their auntie. So I want to let everyone know this is their auntie Tawanda, and I love you. And I just want to say to everyone, I always speak about my sons, and I actually have their shirts on today to let you know this is a mom. I'm community violence. How can I begin this? The best way I can say it is I had 4 sons, and the best thing I can say is what my living son Kayan says when he starts speaking about his brothers. He said, and I take it and I run with it. I went to bed, I had 4 sons. I woke up, I had 1. He says, Mom, I went to bed, I had all my siblings, and when I woke up, I had no siblings. I am the voice of my sons. I amplify them. I gave them the gift of life. because I wanted someone else to know how it is to give the gift of life for my sons. My oldest son is Linton. I have this banner I had made, and I had made Tawanda one, and this is my son Linton, and he's the oldest. My son Randolph is in the middle, and this is Reginald on this end. And I picked the name Three Sons, SUNZ, because they are very important to me. I know it's hard right now because with me, it's unusual, and I speak on it more and more, Tawanda, now. I'm also the mother of multiple children lost that a lot of people don't talk about in the community or talk about it, and about losing more than one child and how do we deal with it and how do I deal with it. When it first happened, to me losing my son, losing one, when it first happened to losing my one child, I couldn't believe it. I was lost for words. And then when it happened to my second son, that was murder, I went to the hospital, and I remember my other two going with me, and I fell on the floor, and the doctors was looking at me while I was rolling on the floor, and they was like, "What is wrong?" And I kept saying, I just buried one 6 weeks ago. I just buried my child." And so the doctors, they was like looking at me like I was crazy. What did you talking about? So I was telling the doctor, I just buried my child, and then I got a call 6 weeks later, and I was telling, and the strangest thing about it, that I love my sisters, my family, and my sister now, they was like, when my first one died, I told them, then the second one, then they was like, "Please don't call us to tell us now another one." So I had to make that call to tell them that they lost another nephew, and it took the breath out of me. It took the breath out of my family. It just, this words I can't even express how I deal with it. I begin to go in my bedroom and set the curtains down and didn't want to talk to nobody. And I was like, "What is going on? Why is this happening to me?" And I was just talking to God. "Why you can't take me?" And I remember saying, "Well, God, my sister has a lot of kids. My other sister had kids. My brother got kids. Can't you do that? Take their kids. I need mine." And I was just talking to him, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do. And I remember looking down. I just gave the gift of life for my son. So I'm with Living Legacy of Maryland, and I said at that moment, I said, I need to be with other mothers that lost, or other fathers, or other people that lost children. And I had a pamphlet that they gave me, and I went to the state attorney office where they had other family members there that lost children and lost family members. And I began to talk, and my journey began from there. I said, I have to amplify my children. They're not gone, they're just transitioned. I need to let everyone know I am a mother, that I have to let them live on. So I started talking, I started speaking, and I started talking. I wanted to do everything. What would my sons do for me if I wasn't here? How would they act? And I said, well, this is what they would do. I would have to do this. And I began to be a fighter, a warrior, and fight. And I did that. The murderers of my son are serving time now. They are locked up. They won't be coming home. I'm happy with that. I speak to, I talk to Tawanda a lot. I talk to other people, and a lot of people talks to me around. I talk to people around the world. I have friends in Australia, everywhere, that talks to me and asks me. Right now, we're going through, and Tawanda, your witness, we're going through the COVID-19, and I just was talking. I was on the phone with my niece, and she was talking, and a lot of people stressed out and just afraid of death, period. And I told them, we're the mothers. We deal with this. we deal with death and we did this. It's a different level than having COVID-19 and losing our children, because we still have to deal with the loss of our children, a loss of your brother, a loss of a sister, a family member, period. And I talked to them. I said, what you have to do, a lot of people don't know. I don't look at the news all the time. I really don't, because if I do, a lot of us will be going crazy, going stressed. So my niece asked me what I looked at. I look at Netflix and look at a lot of different things. And a lot of people now, and I'm telling her, I had one of my friends from Living Legacy, her husband had died. One of her friends' husband had just died from COVID-19, and she couldn't go to the funeral, and she couldn't go. So what I tell people, I said, you know what I do now? I still talk to my son. I said, what you can do is get a pillow, get a picture of him, dress the pillow up in his favorite outfit, what he want, and have a little funeral, or have a party. And I told him, I said, throw a party for him, have fun like he's still here. Talk to him, talk to that person, talk to him how you will live, because we can't go out. And like Tawana said, everyone don't know about this COVID-19. This COVID-19 is deadly. It's a deadly virus that's airborne. It's not nothing. Airborne means it's in the air. I have to go out because I live by myself right now, and I have to get my medicine because I am also a cancer survivor. 2 years cancer survivor, so I'm underlined. So when I go out, I have my mask, but I also have my shield. So I have both of these on that I use to double up, and then I have to put on another mask, the hospital mask. So I'm triple protected because I don't want the virus. I love my children dearly, but I'm not ready to join them right now. I miss my sons dearly, but they're angels. They have to fight, and I tell them every day. I said, you have to fight for all the people in the world right now that's surviving this right here, because our grief level for as mothers to lose one child, and for me to lose 3 of them, my grief level at that time, I couldn't grieve because I didn't know how to grieve for 3 children. I'm just now thinking about how to grieve about my sons and talk about them more. And when I talk about them more and you see me smile, it's because every day I told my sons I loved them to the day they left this world. And I love my sons, and I love everybody, child, because when a mother or a father lose a child now, they become my child or my son, or you become like Tawana, you're my son's auntie, because we're, like you said, we're all as one at community violence. And it's terrible. It is so bad that everyone is afraid to go out. And like I said, when we already know this, how to be in the house and don't want to come out and know how to do this and know how to be shut in and know how to do this. We already know this because when we lose our children, we already are shut in. We already shut down. We don't want to go out. We don't want to be around people. So we know how to deal with this, and we're telling them, you're gonna be all right. And we got out of this, and I tell people, if I survive 1 second from that moment, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a year, a month, you're gonna get through this. You just have to be calm. Thank God. And I wanted to say this. I just found out that my niece and my great niece have COVID-19. But guess what? We're praying for them. They all right. They're warriors like I am. I'm a warrior. They're fine. We got this. All of us around the world, we got this. Tawana, we got this. We're warriors. We got this. So we never ever gave a fight. We all out of here, us mothers and fathers around the world was fighting long weeks ago before this, and we fighting now, and we're warriors. We all warriors. So don't think that. I thank you, Tawanda. I appreciate you so much, and this goes out to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Mic check. And I just wanna can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, mic check.
Yeah, so so my sister, she cleared it up. If she can survive through the worst nightmare in the world of actually losing three of her children. And we all know that at the end of the day, we all want our children to bury us, right? That's my only like, please God, like let my children bury me. But at the end of the day, we can't predict what happens. We have no control over that. But if she's here with that strong message, just to hold on, we gonna make it through. If that don't show you we're gonna make it through, I don't know nothing else that will. I love you, sis. Thank you for your strength. And use her words like of encouragement. Use those words. Just because they take our loved ones from the earth, we're still spiritually connected to our loved ones. I'm still spiritually connected to my big brother Tyrone West. We're all connected to our loved ones, our ancestors, and our children. We're still always connected. So, it's certain things in life that they can steal, but one thing they can never steal is our love. Like I always say, we more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures on buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter. And this sister just showed y'all. And my other sister, Dion, should be already in queue because that's why my phone broke up a little bit because I had to answer her. But she should be here. And when I tell you that this sister reminds me of Emmett Till mom, she like showed like graphic pictures of what they did when they tried to hide what they did to her son, James. Oh, she said, "Oh no, you ain't hide nothing." She went through it all. When I met the sister, we was in the streets of New York City. We took the whole New York City. Oh, I remember we was with we was with what's his name? I forgot. But anyway, we was all together. We was in the street. We took the streets over, and it was just amazing the strength that I see in these mothers that's fighting. Like I said, I don't wish anybody to this side, man, because this pain here is real. It never goes away. I don't care. Like they say, 20 years, 50 years, no matter what, the pain is always there. But it's what we do with that pain and turn it around and channel that pain into doing something positive to save somebody else from going through this type of pain. So no further ado. Ben, if my sister Dion is in queue, could you please let her speak next? Mic check.
Mic check.
You have to unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Dion.
Hey,
Hey
how
there.
you doing, sis? Thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Did you unmute yourself, sis, so we can hear you? At the bottom, you'll see like the hang up
Okay.
button. Okay,
Can
yeah,
y'all hear me?
yeah, we
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you
hear
now.
you.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. Had a little rough this evening, but we good over here.
Go ahead, sister.
Hello?
Yes, we can all hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, hi. My name is Dion Smith Downs. I'm the mother of James Earl Rivera, who was executed inside of a garage July 22nd, 2010. I am from Stockton, California. I've been fighting 9 years for justice for my son. I still have not received any justice. I went to court November 4th of last year and got a 5-day trial with a home juror. Then we was forced to settle without our wishes. They forced it on us, and so we had to attain. But I'm still doing my own research as I'm speaking to y'all today. I'm going to hire my own investigation. I request all my transcripts. I'm ordering all my police reports and all my witness statements and all that, because for me to have a 5-day trial, I thought a trial looked like what I see on TV, and have I seen not only on TV but also in person. And I didn't even get that. I didn't have no witnesses. I started off with 30 witnesses, and out of 30, I only got 3. Also, the police that was also involved in the case was in Hawaii. You know, how could you get a subpoena and you ain't here? So that tells you right there, you get a subpoena, you don't have to show up. Because I thought if we don't show up, we going to jail. But that's another story. I've been fighting now for 9 years in Stockton. I was fighting with against the old attorney that we had in Stockton, James Willard. Then I went out to the FBI for the support. I went to the mayor. I went to 3 mayors, 2 chief of police, 2 DAs, 1 FBI, and continue to build awareness of what just happened here. You know, when they murdered my son, it was like hush hush. And I wanted people to know, no, because we didn't have the big media, we didn't have the big marches. No, something happened here. And I continue to say no more. And so I got it started off with just me and my children. I'm a mother of 14. I have 8 girls and 6 boys. And we had to go out there and we stand. We didn't know what we was doing, but we went out there to let the people know that you're not just going to kill my son and he's not shit. No, we're not accepting that. And so we trying to figure out how we get the body. At the time, we didn't know we couldn't get the body. He was still warded to the coroner. And we went over there to the coroner. They said they cannot release the body because it's a police-involved shooting. They have to do all this blah, blah stuff. So we understand that. So now we'll keep going back and forth to the coroner's office to get the body. Once they finally released the body, they said we still can get the body. We had to have a funeral home to go get the body. And at that moment in time, we didn't know because we never had no one died in our family. So we didn't even imagine to go to a funeral home. So once he explained to us that we had to go to a funeral home, that's what we did. We go to the funeral home, then it was another little buzz that stopped us, but we did not give up. And I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't sleep. I'm just sick. Because I said something happened real bad because they would not let me see him. I could not identify my son at the hospital. They had him wrapped up like a mummy. They put me in a little window. I had to act a fool. I had to call my uncle, which he's a pastor. I had to call family members and everyone, and they still would not let me see him. They, and I didn't know why. And when they finally came to tell me to come in, I said, if my mother can't come in, I'm not coming in. And so they had to go back, and it took about maybe an hour, almost an hour later, they came and said I can come in. So me and my mom's getting out the car. We goes in, and I seen all the police all in the hospital. And I'm like, that's my son is somewhere in that area. I'm trying to go where all the officers at, and the way they was looking, I done screamed before they even told us that he had expired. When my son passed away, I asked him, can I hold my son? I was cussing him out, which I was. I was acting a fool because I told them, if that's my son, I have his Medicare card. Let my son know I'm here because he can fight. But I didn't know that my son, the tragedy that my son went through was he didn't have a chance. And when I got his body, when they finally gave me his body, I seen him through a little window and he wrapped up. And I wasn't for sure that was him, but I knew it was him because I didn't see him that day or that night. So I knew that was him. And so I kept calling, and I finally got his body. And when they brought it to the morgue, and I told the morgue, I want to hold my son. And they said, no, you can't hold my son. That's why a lot of the pictures, I don't know if y'all seen them on Facebook, I have pictures of my son, and I'm inside the morgue with him. And I said, I'm not going nowhere until I hold my son. And that day, I was able to hold my son, and I seen the damage they did to my son. So I knew that I had to fight. I knew I just couldn't just give up. I knew the fight was bigger than me. Now I'm processing that they murdered my son. Now how do I fight them? And that was the hardest thing in my life. How do I fight a system that's not for us? How do I fight to know what happened to my son? And I've been fighting 9 years, and I still have not completely understand what they did to my son. I just been getting pieces and pieces. And as I get my information, I tell it to the lawyer or I call the police. I said, well, y'all said it was a van stolen the day before. It was 3 guys with ski masks and hoodies on with a shotgun. Well, who said it was him? I said, why is no police reports or no news articles stating that these people was abused, or is it a hospital? And there's a lot of things that they didn't give me back. So what I did, I went into the Stockton Record. And for the whole month of July, I went and put, because in Stockton,
which any other cities, I just know about Stockton because I know all cities do it, but Stockton put everything that happened, if it was a carjacking, robbery, or anything, they have a section in the newspaper. So I went from January 1st all the way until the day he died, and I had seen one carjacking, and it said it was three males. It said 3 males with ski masks on, 5'11" and 350 pounds. I'm like, that ain't even my son's weight. And so I brought that to their attention, and then I asked them again, but did y'all ever find it? Did y'all ever find the killer? I mean, the robberies. Did y'all ever find it? It was always, well, we can't talk to you. The city went bankrupt. We can't talk to you. So I've been fighting. So I started demonstrating a protest. And how I did that, I had to go to Oakland, which is where Oscar Grant was murdered. And to go back up, to even know about a march, Oscar Grant got killed a year early. We went out there for Oscar Grant. Didn't even know that I'll be a year later. And so that's when it clicked in my head that you have to go to Oakland for help. And so Oakland had one of them big old protests, and they let me speak, and I was crying. I said, I need y'all help. Can y'all please help me? And I was just crying. I couldn't get everything out. And I said, please, can y'all help me? And then some of the organizers from Oakland, they got me. I calmed down, and they talked to me. And she said, whatever y'all want, we'll come. And that's when I had my first protest in Stockton, and we shut the whole Stockton down. And when we shut the whole Stockton down, and that's when we got a little bit of acknowledgement of my son's death. They know that I wasn't by myself. And then they was telling me what I need to do, so I started going to the city hall, and I started correcting. When they have a city hall, it's not, y'all not finna talk about what y'all want to talk about. Y'all finna hear about a mother that lost their son. That's right. And so that's what I did. And like she said, we went and shared the information with other cities. I went to New York. I went to Minnesota. I went to Oakland, Atlanta. I just went everywhere to try to, even out of the country, to make awareness of police murder, and also when families are left behind. 'Cause a lot of times when we don't have a lot of media coverage or something to show that we're hurting, we're overlooked. And I wanted to make sure no family left behind. And so that's why today, as I speak to you, I'm still out here in the community. After 9 years, they still have not broke my spirit. I still stand with mothers, and I still stand with families, even when I lost 5 family members of my own through community violence. And I lost 2 to a hospital, what is it called? There's about a medical issue, and I'm fighting on that too. But I still have not lost my mind. And and I still, everything that I do it with strength and love and with understanding, because I learned to share. What I learned, I teach another family. And I let him know that it's gonna hurt, but we still gotta fight. We just can't just give up, because that's what the system wants. The system want to slander your loved ones. They want to slander you. Even when I was in trial for them 5 days, and it hurts me today, because I went to certain family members that's in the struggle, who already had been there to get some guidance, and they wasn't there for me. But that's another story. But I learned something when I said in another trial for another family. And when we in a position that we're all alone and we feel helpless, and people is not there for you like they say. When you at the bottom and you confused, you don't know what to turn, what to do, what to say, or how to say it, people don't guide you. They don't guide you. They just let you hit a brick wall. They don't even give you the map that this is where you're headed. This is what they did. And everything that I have been through in my life, fighting for justice, and not only that, but the trash, being homeless. Thank God I didn't lose my kids, but I got them. But losing family members, it's been a hard battle. And I have not lost faith, and that is, we gonna get some justice. I know something happened, and I know it was wrong. And at the end, I got the DA. They had a big city hall meeting. The DA said they tortured me and failed me, and it's all All the stuff started coming out basically today as we speak. Everything is coming out. You know why it's coming out now? Because the lawsuit is done. Everything is over with. Now everything is coming. Now I got my son's property. They said that my son had supposed to carjack the van with a shotgun. Well, in my house today, I got all my son's stuff from the van. I got the radio deck, the license plate. Well, if he stole his van, why is I'm getting a part of somebody else's van? That's not his property. It's supposed to go back to the rightful owner. I got his clothes. I requested all the police reports. I requested the video camera. I request everything. Right now, they just barely giving it to me. Right now as we speak. So I'm getting all that. But when I seen his property, and just to look at his dead clothes and how the bullets went in through the clothes and tore the fabric up, and I'm looking like, man, my son, he couldn't have survived that. And in where they hold their property, because if you look at their clothes, you can see how the bullets entered. And I don't know if y'all go on Facebook and you see a vehicle. I posted a vehicle on Facebook, how the bullets went in from the side of the car. It was no bullets coming straight from the car. All the bullets went from the side of the vehicle. So I asked the lawyer and I asked everybody, can y'all please help me out? Why is all these bullets going through the side? And then they said they didn't use R-15s, KRAR-15s or something. I can't think of the gun name, but then that came out. At first they said it didn't resist, but then at the end, it came out that it was an R-15. Then they said that they didn't use it, the clip fell out. I said, well, sir, I'm not an expert on guns. I don't own guns, but I was told that anytime an AR-15 clip comes out, that means that the gun been shot. They just don't fall out. And so we've been arguing with that. And so I asked, well, why he got shot in his head? Why did he get shot in his private? If you look at the video, they also opened up his groin, and they have stitch mark going between his legs. So I'm asking all the autopsy pictures that I post, and I post them so the people in the world can give me an input of what the hell just happened here. If this is how we died, this is what we allow them to do to us, or this that's used for a dog and pony show. They opened his groin up, and I asked the question, what was his groin about? I asked him why was his side was cut open from the side like they was cutting laid fish. You know, these are the questions I was asking. I said, why did he have a hole in the back of his neck? I said, I was asking questions, and everybody saying, well, is she okay? Yeah, the hell, I'm okay. I want to know what happened to my son because he didn't have to die. If he was knocked inside a garage, he hit 2 mailboxes in a vehicle and knocked into 2 mailboxes into a house, that tells you my son needs medical care. The vehicle is no longer available. Like they said, they did the pit maneuver. They did the pit maneuver to, the van can't move no more because now it's enlarged in the garage. And even in the 5-day trial, the expert came and said that they didn't have, they didn't care about his life. Because they said when they did the pit maneuver, nobody was in threat because the vehicle was no longer moving. And what happened was the officer said he panicked. Gregory Dunn said he panicked. And then when he panicked, that's when they started shooting. It was a whole area was full of police cars. They didn't give him the time enough to think how they gonna go get him out. And also I found that they had a dog in the vehicle. They didn't even let the dog out to go in there to try to get him out. But when I came to the scene, only thing that I can speak for myself and what I seen, when I got to the scene, because I was asleep when this happened. When I got to the scene, my son was laying on the ground. They was slapping him, trying to wake him up. And I don't remember today that they said I screamed. But one thing I did not let that ambulance leave. And I didn't know if it was my son because he never moved. He never moved. He was like dead weight. But then when we go to trial, they said they don't want the pictures because that'll mislead the jury. So I don't know how my lawyer didn't even push the issue that was the case. Just like a video. I didn't have nothing else but that. But I knew that my case was gone. But I couldn't let them kill my spirit. Because that's all I had. I didn't have nothing else. I didn't have a good person speaking on me. I didn't have nobody to represent me but my pictures. but they were not allowed. And when they did it, when they went back to in the jury for the to decide if what they're gonna do, they came back out and they said they had a question. So we left the cafeteria and we came in there, and I thought they wanted a question for me. They didn't want a question for me. The question was, how do you separate the officers, and if you do separate them, what could the consequence be? That goes back in, and we stepped back out. That Monday, they came back with the ruling that a hung jury. So I told my lawyer, I don't give a damn about $1. I want some justice. I want them to be held accountable because you seen in your mediation thing that there was lying. You seen that. So you tell me no one be a prosecutor. You seen the whole stuff was already rigged. And you hire a specialist to come in there and tell you that my son didn't have to die. The van never moved. It was stuck inside of a garage. And then they go, and it hurted me. It hurted me real bad when you in a courtroom and they tell you to don't count how many times he got shot. They didn't want to hear how he got shot or how many times he got shot. And this is what we have to deal with. So when we are just standing for justice and we standing for help, we letting y'all know to help us because we don't not know. We have to learn every day how to fight and how to keep us in check. Because when you fight for your loved one, you're not there. You're not there. And then I have to fight, and I'm still fighting today. As I speak to y'all, I fight today. Our lawyers, they not in our best interest because it's about $1. We just an estate. We just a ticket. Because then they start picking and choosing how they want to present the case and how to present if they want to deal with the case. They hold my case for 9 years, and you already knew how this case was gonna go. Be upfront with me. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Don't pull me to the end and then you throw me on the bus. Do it to me now. Don't wait till me later. So as I speak today, I'm coming up with something else because I have to learn my son Kate. Kind of be able to be his spokesman and tell the truth, the real truth, and point out the errors and point out what had happened. So what I did, I request everything from my son. My son first went to juvenile home. He was 14 years old. And he was on probation. That was for a fight. I request that. So when I get out there and tell the world, you'll see his history. Not their history. You'll see his history. You'll see me. And it's going to be there to help somebody else because we cannot continue to let them kill us and embarrass us and frame us and like we ain't shit because what they do is who fighting. You know who on the battlefield fighting? It's mothers, it's women. We going against men, professional men, because we don't have a P2, a bachelor degree. We're not stupid. We can see what corruption is going on. And we need to stick together. We know they have been framing some of these marches, some of these new organizers popping up, dividing families, dividing mothers. We need each other, but we letting them divide us. We need each other. To us, we're a meal ticket to them. We don't need them. They need us. That's why they benefit from us. And we ain't sinning because we hurting. We grieving. You know, some of the marches that we have is good because look at all the families that I done met. In 9 years, I've met a lot of mothers, sisters, and brothers and daddy. In 9 years, that's a lot of people that died. And I'm still here, and I'm like, wow. And I just got justice. Well, I just got January 8th, I just settled my case 2020. Finna be 10 years. I just finished my case. So then look at all the families that I has met in 2020. And people call you, oh, you didn't get this, you didn't get that. I said, you know what, don't call my phone and stop pasting me on Facebook because it was never about the dollar. You should have called me when I need help. I asked everybody for help. I didn't call you to ask me what I got and didn't get. I asked for help because it was a criminal act that shouldn't have happened right here in our city of Stockton. And so a lot of places I go, they try to blackball me. They try to do all they can do. But sometimes I go to the event, they don't even want to acknowledge us. Oh, okay, wait, okay, you sit on the side over here, and we get with you in a minute. I done been through it all. For 9 years, I done been through it all. But I let them know I ain't going nowhere. You gonna hear my story. If they say this brother have a high profile, I'm gonna stand right there with him. Because I got high profile too, because I'm here. And and that's the mentality that we gotta keep, and we gotta stand together. We gotta believe and stay believing. And no matter what they think about our loved ones, he was ours. We done carried him 9 months, and we gotta stand. If they don't like us, oh well. Cause I didn't ask to be in this club.
That's right.
Excuse me for crying, y'all. I get upset and I get hurt because it brings up old wounds. And I just for these 9 years, I have not got a chance to heal because when I decided to get myself together was another death. I just buried a loved one on the 15th, and they said a lot of us couldn't go to the funeral because the corona. But we stuck. We did our thing, and it just been out there. I know more death than I know about life, But we got to stick together. This is real. It's not for fashion. We not want you to feel sorry for us. We want real change. We want real laws for us, not to be sold out. We cry out, and who benefiting from my tears? Who benefiting from them? You know what I mean? We know if something is wrong because you hear it over and over and over and over and over again. People is dying. Some of the mothers are losing their mind. It could, thank God that I was a strong mother and I had my mother before she passed to keep me intact, to keep my kids intact. I could have lost all my kids. My kids, you go on Facebook, because I have them on there, you see my kids, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. All my kids are little. You see them was my kids, thought them was grandkids. No, they're my kids. They had to stand out there. I could have lost my mind, been out there in the middle ward, and my kids would have been fostered out in the foster home and half with my mama and half over there. Then I would have been fighting CPS, and I would have been fighting for justice. These are things that people don't realize that we face. And then they don't even get to you, and we ain't finished with that yet. Then the school hits you. Now your kids in school. And then you protesting. Then the school messing with your kids because you out there protesting. You in the newspaper. You on TV. So now when tomorrow get here, now they said your kids done something. Now they picking with your kid. Or they said, well, what did he shouldn't have been there? And what did the mama do? Then your kids feeling a certain type of way. Now they don't want to go to school. So that's another chapter that's going on. So I'm just dealing with shit from all anger. But I am still here. I am still here to be able to tell the story. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to continue to stand with mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers. You will see. The dollar didn't move me because I never got on for $1. It was the passion. If it was $1, I would have been fell off. 9 years strong, and I'm still fighting. And I'm still learning how to talk. I'm still learning how to represent me. I'm still learning how to represent my son. I'm still learning how to represent my community. I'm still learning how to represent our mothers. I'm still how to run our siblings. I am still learning. I don't talk with that college talk, but this is what y'all getting me.
That's right. That's right.
And y'all excuse me, I'm just keep crying and my nose running.
Cry, sis. Let it out. Let it out. That's what this is about. Let it out. Let it out.
Next month I'll be ordering my son's headstone. I never purchased his headstone because I wasn't uncomfortable. And so, to me, I'm going to let him rest by letting his headstone. But I got a bigger fight. I also had a headstone a year after he was murdered by the police. And there's a headstone with he was murdered by Stockton police. I'm going to let that down where he died at. So I'm going to let that down. But I have been, all my son's anniversary, I never celebrated that. I celebrated with mothers and their children. And so when they let up this corona, it's going to be the first one I shared for my son, because I always gave my son and me to the people, you know, because I knew it was bigger than us.
Definitely, sis, keep me posted. You know I'm gonna be right there with you, standing by your side in solidarity and support. So definitely let me know when everything.
And I just thank you to have this opportunity to be able to us to talk. And I would like for this to keep going, and I would like for you to keep reaching out to more mothers, because we got a lot of mothers, and that I talk to personally, that's on drugs, but they somebody's child. I mean, that somebody's child was taken, and they are mothers, but they didn't know the support, and they didn't believe in them. So I want to also uplift them, and I also let them know that not just my fight is our fight. And so we want to bring them on board too, to give them a platform to speak. We was talking about, I was talking about raising money to give air. And what I meant by that, to be able to lease where we can have time just for the mothers, for them to just get on there and tell they. So a lot of people didn't even get the opportunity that I had for the 9 years.
Right.
But you keep up the work, and I'm thanking y'all for zooming in. I know some of y'all might didn't understand, because I was going different area, but the pain is real. The pain is real, and and I'm cut. You know how they say, if anybody that had a triple bypass, you cannot heal if you cover the top. You got to heal within, and it nurses way out. So I'm just like an open heart surgeon, open triple bypass. That's how I feel right now. I'm healing from the inside to be able to come out. And but at the end of the day, I still have love to give back to our community, and that's what I've been doing. I take my pain and my love and my understanding to uplift our community. And that's why I stay in the homeless area. That's why I stay in the homicide area. That's why I stay supporting funerals. That's why I stay doing fundraisers for our community. That's why I'm always in there, so anybody can call. I'm not just a person. I'm a call away. I talk to mothers over the phone, and they said, well, can you do this for it? And like I tell people, I don't have no money, but you got me. I know how to cook. I know how to cook up some things. And so that's what we do. We cook up some things. If a family said they need this and they don't have they short on that, don't worry about this. We got this. So we will make sure when after the funeral is done, they got food. They don't have to worry about that part. Because a lot of times you're worried about this and that and that. And whatever we can do, we make sure it's not too much on you. And then we let you know that it's not just you, it's us. And then I work up after 3 days, I let them enjoy their family and stuff, and I go in because after 3 days, we know everybody gone. The camera's gone, everybody gone, you just there. And so I want them to uplift them and let them know that we ain't going nowhere, and and educate them for the fight.
That's what's up. I just thank you for your strength, man. Oh my God, like, you beautiful on the inside and on the outside. You know what I mean? And then you so strong, and for you to have so many beautiful children, and you keep on fighting. And I love you for that fight, man. I just really love you, and I want to tell you, we all we got. We here for each other. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna definitely get through this, and we're gonna use each other. And if you know any other moms, just give them my number. Tell them call me. They can come on. This our show. This our time. This our pain, man. I don't wish nobody into it. You gotta unmute yourself, sis. Hit the unmute button. I can't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
I had when you called me, when I seen the text, I had a incident, but the devil's a lie. They did a big old shooting up over here, and I had to go over here to see what was going on. That's why I didn't even catch the time. They had a big old shooting, and police covered up the area and stuff, so that's where I was at. And so I came back home. When I called you, I was heading back home, but I wanted to make sure everybody was all right, because when the people started shooting, they didn't care who was out there or what was going on. They shot up the house and windows and all that, and everybody outside, because it's hot. Everybody and their kids outside, so thank God nobody kids got hurt. So I had to go, that's what I do. I'm first responder. I go and see about our community and stuff like that. But I want to say thank you, and God has blessed me. Since then, I am now official a grandmother of 37 grandkids.
Right, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta stay right and stay focused and learn. And I'm still learning about this fight, and it's still a lot of unquestioned answer. But I tell you, and we have this meeting again. I'm gonna have more information than I had the first time. I done already seen the corruption. I done seen everything, and not only that, I also seen the officers in their face, and also some of their wives reached out to me already. So I have a relationship with their wives and their kids.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for sharing. You keep being strong, and this our grounds right here. So anytime you want to come back on share, you more than welcome to come back. And I just thank you. And I'm sorry that you had to relive it, because people don't understand. Like when people start telling, it's like you living that pain all over again. So you had me crying with you. So I love you, and I just tell you, keep the good work up. I love you. Just keep being strong and doing what you're doing.
And I want to tell you. And I want to tell you I love you, because I watch you too. I watch all my mothers. And I see what you're going through. I seen you standing out there in the rain and the snow. Standing to give people hope. To let even us. Sometimes when y'all people don't believe it, but by us being mothers and family members who lost loved ones, this Facebook, that's the only thing we have to keep in touch, and also keep us uplifted. Because when we see you, we might want to give up. We might feel in a certain way. When we see you out there standing in the snow, goddamn, I need to get out here in front of the police department today. You know what I mean? Like that. So that's why I just encourage my mothers, because everybody on my Facebook, trust and believe, I learned from all my mother's kids, sisters, or daddies. When I see them, I said, what I'm finna do? I'm finna go raise some hell today at City Hall. So that's how I do. I learn from us to keep me and see us teach one. That's why I always push to remember, we ain't here because we want to be. We here because we forced.
Amen.
And I want to say thank all of y'all that's tuning in and listening. And we appreciate y'all to hear our cry, because like I said, it's a cry for change, and it's a mother cry for change and love.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So Ben, Charlene,
Mic check.
Charlene got any comments you want to read at this time? Will you?
You all?
You're muted, Charlene. You have to unmute yourself, Charlene.
Charlene, you gotta unmute your mic. Down the bottom.
You gotta unmute yourself. You're still muted. You're still muted.
Charlene, if you hit the screen, you'll see the.
Charlene, on the bottom of your page, there's a little microphone. Click on that to unmute.
You're still muted. You're still muted, Charlene.
Charlene, try to hit the whole screen and you'll see.
You have to unmute yourself.
She doesn't think she is. She doesn't even know. She's still talking. Oh, wait, wait.
Charlene, if you scroll to the bottom of your screen, you'll see a microphone symbol. And if you click on that, you can unmute yourself. We didn't hear what you said.
You're unmuted now. All right,
Charlene,
does
can
somebody
you
else
say
want to
that
go?
Everything again? We missed it the first time.
She's still muted. Does anybody else want to go? Mic check.
Ben, I just wanted to, is it alright if I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just
unmute yourself, Brian.
It's Dan, actually, Ben.
Oh.
Go ahead, Dan.
All right. I just wanted to say that, you know, there's not much I can say after those two ladies. The beautiful queens, their testimony. If you're don't feel like you should get up and stand up and do something, I don't know what else would make you wanna get stand up. Literally, I've been standing the whole time they've been talking, and I want them to know as a seasoned white man that I'm there, and we're here in Baltimore, but it's not California. But we're here for you all, and for whatever you need. This is one movement. It's one people fighting for justice. I know Tawanda says accountability, but what happens to you all is unjust, and that system is trying to keep the system in place. That's why the case was rigged against you, and we have to continue to fight your right, change the laws, stand up, be there when other people need us, join the fight of others. All those things need to happen. But I just wanted to tell you that what you said tonight really made an impact on me, and I'm sure many people out there. So thank you, and bless you all, and good luck in continuing your fight.
Thank you so much.
I can thank you too.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Charlene, do you want to try going again? Your audio is not working. I'm not sure why. Anybody else? Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
If I could steal the screen for a moment, this is Brian, and I want to take a moment for a couple things. This is kind of awkward after we heard so much, but I want to say that there's some other stuff going on that I think that we should give a little time and space to in our brains and in our hearts. And one of those things is that we are currently today is Earth Day, and we are currently at the not only in the middle of a COVID disaster, but at the front edge of a climate disaster, and people who are trying to organize around that deserve our attention. And if you want to just go to is Earth Day Live 2020.org. That is a site. They have basically 9 in the morning till 9 at night stuff going on. Some of it is things like how to be a disabled activist, or what's going on in Flint with the water crisis there. And then some of it is just music. I think 9 o'clock tonight, Questlove is doing a dance party. And so there's things like that going on. Also, if you go to Sunrise Movement Baltimore on Facebook, they're currently running a stream of local Baltimore artists doing things related to these topics. So, I think that, all of this, as I've said a lot of times before, this all comes together, and we have to fight against police violence. We have to fight against neighborhood violence. We have to fight against environmental violence. All of these things come together, and that's really important for us to stay with. In relation to that, I went to an action earlier this week, and it was in Baltimore, and we did a protest at the mayor's weekly or bi-weekly COVID press conference. And it was a car action, and so we all stayed in our cars. It was all very safe. We all had masks, but we were able to interrupt the flow of his. Some people were on the ground and were actually there asking questions, but we were, the people in the cars were the backup, and we honked our horns 32 times for the 32 people who had died in shelters in New York and DC. And we were trying to get homeless people out of shelters and into hotels and more permanent kinds of habitations. But I think that that was a sort of innovative thing that people are still able to do action and take action on these sorts of issues. And I think that we need to stay open to doing that sort of thing and try and think about what it might look like for us to do. Could we all pull up in front of the police station and and honk our horns and maybe run the bullhorn out of something? I think that this is a time of testing for all of us, but we have to not only test our endurance and our ability to hold on, but also our brains and our ability to think and to adapt. And so that's really, I just kind of wanted to put those two things out there. The other thing that I do pretty much every week is ask people to remember those whose lives were lost to violence in Baltimore this past week. This week, I don't have any names. That lightens my heart a great deal. I'm told that 2 people were killed over the weekend here in Baltimore, but their names haven't been released yet, so we'll be memorializing them next week. But nonetheless, we've gotten through a week without some mother losing a child is just something that I am profoundly thankful for. So with that, I'm just going to turn it back to Tawanda. Thank you very much.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'll go now. So when we're talking about COVID, one of the things that we're talking about is, the way that we deal with people in the prison system, right? And specifically beyond that, we're talking about what about people that are on pre-trial detention, right? They haven't gone to trial yet, but they're still in the system, right? So I wanted to speak on the issue of how the bail review process is being handled for newly charged people and previously charged people in the system on pre-trial detention awaiting trial. For anybody that doesn't know what a bail review is, so when a person is arrested and sent down to central booking, they sit before a commissioner in what's called the initial hearing, and that commissioner will tell that person what they're being charged with, whether they're going to be released, given a bail, or held without a bail. That defendant can then request to be heard by a judge after the fact to review that ruling if they're dissatisfied with it, and that's the bail review. And at that hearing, a prosecutor will show up and fight the desire by the defendant to have that ruling changed. And a judge will ultimately determine if the prior ruling should change. So Marilyn Mosby and the state's attorney's office have been pumping out a lot of PR about their drive to push Governor Hogan toward addressing the issue of infection in the jails and that certain inmates should be released, etc. Locally, her office has made announcements that only people with nonviolent charges will be given the chance to get out on a bail or home detention or released on their recognizance. Obviously, that means people facing violence-related charges are not likely to be considered for release in any capacity. One might think that if Mosby's office, as her PR seems to suggest, is focused on public health in the way that these PR campaigns would suggest, that they might be weary about increasing the jail population. That's clearly not the case. So I wanted to reference work done by two groups, Open Justice Baltimore and Baltimore Court Watch. They both have documented the results of bail review hearings on Twitter. What they've uncovered, and what has been corroborated by public defenders and criminal defense attorneys in the city, is that Marilyn Mosby's prosecutors in these hearings have been pushing to hold people without bail. Not only that, but home detention is very rarely being considered by those prosecutors as a viable option. So what this amounts to is there's been over 500 hearings of this sort in which prosecutors are fighting to continue to hold people in jail without bail. So that translates to a desire by the state's attorney's office to have several hundred more people enter an already infected system. So she is arguing to have 500 plus more people go into jail where it's already infected, right? And it begs the very serious question of Ms. Mosby and her office taking this pandemic that seriously. I mean, no doubt violent crime is something that threatens public safety, but any public health professional will tell you that public safety cannot happen without public health. And in fact, crime waves are fueled in part by underfunded health departments. So the other thing that really needs to be stated here is that people being held on pretrial detention have not been convicted of the crime they're charged with. They are awaiting trial. They're innocent until proven guilty, and may very well be wholly innocent of such charges, right? We know how the police operate here. They arrest innocent people all day, right? So we have innocent people that are being held without bail, potentially, right? And what happens when one of these people gets sick or dies, right? Is that not a violation of their due process rights, their human rights, of their 8th Amendment right against cruel and unusual punishment? So the point of the story at this point is Marilyn Mosby and her office are willfully worsening the public health crisis in the prison system. They're not a progressive administration, despite how much she wants to talk about that in media, but she's using her media connections to push a narrative that has been proven to be 100% false. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'd like to say a few words. I'd like to say a few words.
Go ahead, Bill.
First of all, I'm really very thankful that we have the guests on tonight. The story of your loss in Sacramento made me love the working class and hate racism and hate this system even more. In the past, I was fortunate to have taught 3 cousins of Tyrone West, Tawanda's brother, who was killed by the police. And when you have that kind of a connection, you don't feel it, of course, nearly as much as the family and so on, but you feel it. And tonight, you have, re-energized my commitment to this struggle against police brutality and racism. I want to mention that a week from Friday is May the 1st, and May the 1st is known as May Day. It's the worldwide revolutionary holiday to defeat this capitalist system and to have a world of communism where we have sisterhood and brotherhood and care about each other, and we share the resources evenly and fairly. And just a little story about the history of May Day. In 1975, in Boston, there was a violent racist organization called ROAR. It stood for Restore Our Alienated Rights. They had 2 members elected to the Boston City Council. Their leader was a woman named Louise Day Hicks. And the main thing they did was they organized hundreds of people in South Boston to throw rocks through the windows of school buses, which were bringing black children in to integrate the schools of South Boston, which was predominantly white. So we decided to hold our May Day March that year in that neighborhood where that group had its base of support. And we knew they might attack us, so we were prepared. We had people who were going to defend the march physically. And they did attack, but we managed to keep the march intact. And a very large march went through that neighborhood successfully. And we followed it up with a summer project where lots of people came from all over the country to organize against ROAR. It was very heavy-duty summer project. We would be on talk shows at a TV station, and Roar people would break in and attack people in the in the audience. But by the end of the summer, as schools reopened, and Roar tried again to organize people to throw stones and attack the buses bringing black children into South Boston, they could not get anybody out there to do it. We had politically defeated that racist movement. And racists around the country who were paying attention and hoped to copy what was being done in Boston, they were discouraged, which was very good. We consider it the last great battle of the civil rights movement in that summer of 1975. So a week from Friday, which will be May the 1st, we're going to have a program like this on Facebook, and it's going to be about May Day, and we encourage everybody to watch. And I admire the long-term dedication and commitment and fighting spirit of our guest tonight. You've inspired me, and thank you so very much.
Mic check.
Mic check.
My check.
Mic check.
Tawanda, I wanted to say one more thing, and I wanted to say this to you guys. I think the young man that was saying something about the prison system where everyone is locked up. Again, I had 4 sons. I had 3 of them gone, and one of them is left. And my last one that's left, he's incarcerated. I'm fighting to find out what's going on, and I'm at this stage where I don't want to know. I want to know. I don't want to know, but I have to check on him because my fear level to find out if I lost another child, what would have happened to me? So again, that's another thing that I fight every day along with that. And I wanted to say to the other mother that's in California, my ways go out to you. I love you. I appreciate that you're on here with me, and I am your sister for life. And I wanted to tell everyone thank you so much, and thank you, Tawan.
Oh, thank you. Mic check.
Mic check.
2, Stockton, California. I got your back like a backpack with the bulletproof vest.
No, that's right.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So do anybody want to say anything before we wrap it up?
Check.
All right. Well, I just want to thank, again, both of my queens for sharing. I want to thank everybody that shared. Zach for that very critical information, because we know that the state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, she played this game like, oh, I'm doing this for the people, and everybody's, believing that. I even believe that. I'm the one who actually got her in office for her to actually diss my family, to step all over top of the Tyrone West case, Keith Davis Jr. case, and just keep it moving. So she attached herself to whatever she want to attach herself to, and that's not right. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then I also wanted to throw out again, just thinking about all the stuff that's happening right now with this pandemic is really showing me a lot. It's showing me things that I thought I would never ever see, and it's showing me things that are really hurtful, because you could actually invest in a job for many years, right? Sacrificing everything, but now this is the time where jobs show you how much they care about you. And it just saddens me just the way things are happening in this world, and just the value that they have on life. It's nothing. It's like $1 bill is worth more than our lives, and that's just sad. It's disgusting. It's sickening. And then I think about all my sister queens and kings that are out there on the front line fighting for all the injustices that are happening all around the world. Clearly, you see it's not a Baltimore thing. It's a worldwide thing that needs to stop. But it's just funny how when we go out there and we're screaming, our lives matter, and we're doing protests, they victimize the victims. They treat us like crap. You know what I mean? But yet, you can have the Ku Klux Klan go out there spreading germs and diseases. You get what I'm saying? Breaking all the ethic codes, breaking everything, the social distancing, everything, because they want to hurry up and open the country back up and all type of stuff. And the police will 9 times drag them, pull them, harass them, or incarcerate them. You see what it is. but yet we go out there with peaceful protest signs. We done had actual weapons. We had sharpshooters sitting on top of roofs, watching us with guns, pointing guns at our head, and we got signs up. Welcome to America. That's all I gotta say. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like Boom always say, we all we got, we all we need, and we will get through this. If you haven't seen all the strength and the pain that's been coming through West Wednesday, like year after year, you already know through rain, sleet, and snow, we say killer cops must go, and all the injustices and injustices in this world must go as well. So we're gonna continuously be out here, even though we're home safe now, and I encourage everybody just, you know, if you're not worried, just stay inside, because that's the only way we're going to curb it if we take it serious. As you see, people are really dying. People are really being affected by this, man. It's sad and it's scary right now, but we will get through this. Live to love, love to live. I love you all, and we'll be seeing you again on next Friday. And also, Sister Queens, I don't know if you heard Uncle Bobby's update. Last week they were on here, and they're actually having a conference with all the families, you know, and I'll give y'all the information once they give it to me, but they're going to do a Zoom conference this Friday with all the families. We're going to be like having people sing songs, read poems, just talk and just kind of comfort each other. So I think that's going to be really, you know, useful for us, especially in these hard times. So I just want to thank you. I want to give a special shout out for Ben. Thank you for all that you do, putting this together, holding it down. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Thank you, Hillary, Dan, Zach. Just thank you all. Thank you, everybody. You know, thanking JC. It's his birthday, and even though it's his birthday, he's still out here working. I talked to him earlier. He was out preparing food boxes, giving it out in the community. Thank you, Opal. Thank you, everybody. Abby, shout out to John Hopkins students, the setting. Just thank you, everybody. Don't forget, less than 5 years ago, Freddie Gray was brutally murdered. 6 killer cops got off, and that's what they constantly keep on doing, because before Freddie Gray even was murdered, my big brother Tyrone West was murdered, and 11 to 15 killer cops. And it said, and I like when Zach told me to make that point clear, that shows you how thorough this funky investigation was. I still don't have an accurate count of how many animals murdered my big brother Tyrone West. That's disgusting. So we will continuously fight, and I want to give a special shout out to Taya from Real News. She did a great job on her show with it's called Police Accountability, and she went in, she talked about this capitalist system. She even gave me 8 minutes of non-stop, well 15 minutes, damn near 15 minutes of non-stop interview trying to get accountability for my brother, because there is a video of my big brother Tyrone West. He was executed on Kentmore Causeway in 2013. If anybody still have that video or knows somebody that have it, please, I urge you, get in contact with me. You can reach me through, my email is Miss Tawanda, that's MISSTAWANDA 17@yahoo.com. You can send me a message even through this Facebook airway, or get through with one of our West Wednesday Coalition. So I just want to thank the whole West Wednesday Coalition. I love you guys, because you guys give us strength. Thanks for letting us share. Thanks for all the families before that shared. Our sister Beverly last week, Uncle Bobby. Just thank God for all of us. You know, continues to fight. Like we say, we don't want to wish anybody into this club of pain. But however, we were forced here, and now we're here to make sure nobody else feels this type of pain. It's real. But through this pain, we hate no one. We hate the system, but we hate no human being. So live to love, love to live. See you guys next West Wednesday. Thanks.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check. Peace.
All right, we're going to stop the stream here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern.